Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel. Thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Bvlgari Octo Solotempo. You can see this 41.5mm automatic Bvlgari on our website. Purchase it there and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy these videos. You can also click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this Bvlgari automatic with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Solotempo. Now the watch you see on my wrist, 41.5mm across the broad of the case from 9 o'clock to 3, is an interesting combination of an unconventional shape with a very compact and ergonomically outstanding fit. Oftentimes non-round watches become very particular, idiosyncratic in the way they fit, and there's none of that here in the case of this Bvlgari Octo. Now 41.5 is the distance across the wrist from 3 to 9, not inclusive of the crown. The watch has no crown guards. It's quite slim, being only 11mm thick. You can also see that the bezel is generously sloped, so it does make it easy for a tight sleeve or formal cuff to wrap up and over the watch. Now from lug to lug, there are perhaps two horizontal measurements that apply. 47mm is the distance from metal lug to metal lug tip. The watch does have a little bit of a tendency to flare across the wrist because the strap, which is very substantial and luxurious, is quite massive as well. You can see with folded sides, small rectangular scale alligator leather with a monotone stitch. It's beautifully integrated into the case in a seamless arc, absolutely no gap between case and strap end, so the coherence is outstanding. But again, it will fight your wrist a little bit. I would say 15.5 centimeters in circumference is probably the smallest wrist that can wear this watch with absolute ease and security. A little bit smaller than that, 15, and you might have a little bit of looseness, but the watch will still look good. Just be advised, 15.5 is probably the lower limit for security and proportion. Now the watch is beautifully made. You can see that all of the facets are either satin finished and beautifully, or high polish, and the contrast is outstanding. Now, the Octo line was formally subsumed into Bvlgari in 2010. Previously, it had been a signature design of Bvlgari, which was purchased as a manufacturer by Bvlgari back in 2000. Now, in 2012, the watch you see here, branded not as a Bvlgari Bvlgari, but solely as a Bvlgari Octo debuted. It is a beautiful piece. The substance of the strap is matched by an equally substantial deployant clasp, single fold, beautifully finished, Bvlgari inscribed. You can see it has alternately matte and polished surfaces. Beautifully made, it's very substantial, and it gives you that extra measure of security joining with the other side of the strap so that you know the watch won't accidentally slip and fall when donning or removing at bedside. Now, the timepiece itself is all in stainless steel and quite nicely proportioned. It's a layered design whereupon the sapphire and the satin finished bezel sit atop a sort of pyramid of subordinate metal forms, each one sharply angled and creased. The watch has the panache of a beautifully tailored Italian suit, and the dial itself, again, all of the watch previously emerged from Bvlgari's manufacture, but the thing is, Bvlgari was half Italian, and perhaps where the DNA of this watch originates is in that Italian half of Genta himself, because it transitioned almost seamlessly to the Bvlgari line in a logical, coherent, and organic fashion. You'll note the combination of round and sharp geometric forms creates tension, tangible tension in the aesthetic of the watch, and that continues on the beautiful black lacquered dial, which has a deep and rich gloss finish. All of the numerals and indices are polished and applied by hand, and beautifully so, giving the dial a little bit of extra depth, and the date window at 3 o'clock is highly unobtrusive. There when you want it, disappears when you don't. Now on the case back, there is what Bvlgari calls the caliber BVL 193, which is a modified Bvlgari manufacture 3002, 50-hour power reserve, automatic winding. It has ceramic rotor bearings for high efficiency and durability. It operates at a modern 28,800 vibrations per hour, and it's quite accurate across the entirety of its power reserve of 50 hours, thanks to twin mainspring barrels, and you can see them here on their jewel pivots that ensure a nice even torque release from minimum wind to maximum wind. Now you'll also note that the movement is adjusted in 5 positions, a surprising degree of refinement for a watch from a house best known for fashion, but this watch really does spare no expense mechanically, with a top flight movement abundantly improved and fitted with Bvlgari's own unique regulator system, not the original free-sprung assembly from the base 3002. It's nicely made with linear Côte de Genève across the bridges and winding mass. Handsome. One could even say that this movement, which also features hacking or stop seconds and a quickset date, has become something of the modern-day Jaeger-LeCoultre 889, which was the Bvlgari power plant to an entire industry back in the 80s and 90s. Today, Bvlgari is well suited to the Vaucher and vice versa, a premium watch and a premium movement with a premium pedigree. Conceived by Gerald Genta, executed by Bvlgari, and powered by Vaucher. You can see and you can purchase this Octo Solotempo on our website.